Welcome to the test stream. I'm Truthman from OverClocking-TV, and we're here at the Summer OC event in PA. Actually, it's in Harrisburg, in the US, in Pennsylvania. And it's quite late for us in the evening. And actually, we wanted to test some of the new games that we can actually do with the overclocking theme. Thank you guys for being here. Say hi to Neil from France, Nuvio from I don't know where you are, and Mr. Tech QC from Quebec. Salut, salut. It's quite late. It's almost midnight here, and the two guys that will be trying out the new system tonight are on the right side of the screen. Mark0053 actually qualified for the HWBot World Tour 2016 World Championship. No, that's the HWBot World Championship 2016. Is already qualified. He managed to win a ticket in the North America event earlier this year. And on the left side, you have Joe Stepanzi from the US. Never competing that much in a lot of competition, except when, well, he can win some stuff. For now, there's nothing to win, just pride and trying out some new stuff. So basically, we already choose the kind of concept we want to test. So basically, we will be testing something super cool, so you will be able to see what's going on from the two guys, and especially from Mark, that have the camera right on him. So the two guys will be competing on Cinebench R15. And the goal is for them to have a target. So that's one of the new mods we will try. That's the target attack. Target attack means that they have to reach a certain target for like a certain target score for the benchmark, and this will define if they lose their lives or not. So each of the overclocker have 3 lives, and they will lose lives every time they don't manage to get close to the target. So actually, let's say the target is 100. If Mark is doing 50 and Stepanzi is doing 80, Stepanzi is closer to the target than Mark, so Mark is losing 1 life. And if in the event of one of the overclocker reach the target directly, so hit 100 directly, the set is actually like called off, and we can move to the next one. The winner, so the person that hit the target, gain 1 extra life, except that you can have only 3 lives at the maximum, and the other opponent actually lose 1 as well. So it's like the double combo if you straight hit the right target. The second thing is so there's gonna be 10 rounds maximum for it. At the end, of course, the person that have the least life will be the loser, and the one that have the most life will be the winner. On the other side as well, we can see that in this kind of game, that would be very interesting to see who can get to the target to the closer, the fastest. We choose Cinebench R15. We didn't want to make the rules to fit like maybe like 10 different benchmark. Wanted to fit for one thing, and we just select Cinebench R15 just out of the completely random and just adapt for it. If we look at the scoreboard today, the score are, if you look at the air cooling, like one of the best air cooling setup is at 2081 points from UF Disciple from South Africa. So that will be one of our early targets. So the lowest score that can appear, so the score will be random, like the target will be between these 2000 points and 1 point above the world record. So what we want to have is to have a wide scale on the wide frame about what the scores can happen on this. So the current world record for, actually the global top score for the Intel Core i7-6950X, that's the CPU that the two guys are using today. They use different motherboard, but the same CPU. And it's by Dancop on LN2, of course. And the frequency they have reached is 5.3 gigahertz, but the score that Dancop is actually holding is 2907 point. So what we will be doing is draw an A number between 2000 and 2908 point. So every time you have to either hit the target or be the closest to it. There's the two overclockers are still installing some of the system, some of the drivers and so on. Of course, this is not an official competition. This is just a try out about the new rules and the new system that we want to test actually. So let us know on the live chat. I see that there is Mr. Tech QC from Quebec and a Wafer that is from France, but in Quebec at the moment as well. Let us know where you are from. I like that view. And I like the way that we can have the exact temperature on the system as well. It's super responsive as well, like negative 70 degrees. That is far from bad. Timothy, that you can see standing up on the right side, will be managing the score and the few I'm gonna say that the few discussion that they have. We won't be updating the score live because we don't have the manpower to do it. And yeah, that's pretty much about it for now. Hey, Lil Chronic from Florida. Well, actually, Florida, you could have almost drive all the way up with Stepanzi. If I'm right, he's from there as well. Neil, I want temperature like that on my stream. It's really impressive. Well, as we did explain just earlier, that this is still prototype, but well, if you want one, you can just send me a PM and we'll try to see if we can get one of the first real things when it's going to be working completely to you. Of course, that's going to be very interesting for everyone doing live stream. That's going to be interesting for the overclockers as well to find out, because we find a way that these could be cheaper or at the same price as the regular super production, super commercial version of the thermometer, but with a shit ton of a lot of stuff. Sorry for the S words, but a lot of stuff that we can do with it, and especially like the displaying like this. And this is a very basic way of displaying the data. Of course, that's super interesting to see that, especially during the competitions. Maybe we can have an early look at the screen. Oh no, we don't have it yet. But once we're gonna have the screen, we're gonna have the screen and the temperature as well, so you know exactly when they're benching at which temperature they are. This is gonna be very important for us to do the commentary, and that's gonna be very important for you guys watching the stream to understand a little bit more exactly what's going on at this very moment. So, for example, using the BIOS at negative 50. So, you know, it's much easier to to be entertaining with that, and maybe I guess one day the overclockers will have that directly on the screen as well. So that will be like all integrated in a way. Ça marche pas? So we're waiting for Mark to reinstall the driver, because actually this is how it looks. Well, as you can see, there's some stuff happening on the screen, and there's some colors. So yeah, that's what we are waiting for. That's what we are waiting for. Yeah. So Billzoid will not be here with us for this part of the stream, of course, because he's sleeping at the moment. He's living in the UK, so that might be a bit tricky for him to be up at this time. I can't wait to see some blue screen, because I like to yell the blue screen thing for you guys that did watch some of the stream we did before. So yeah, we are here in the US, in Pennsylvania, Harrisburg. They have a lot of stuff here. A lot of actually, I'm surprised that's quite cool event. I like it. That's cool. That's relaxed. Of course, if you come, that's the issue. The challenge when you go to an event like this, to a bench party like this, you need to have targets. You need to have your own targets to know what you want to do, what you want to bench, and what for. So, for example, if you just go somewhere with just way too many hardware, there's no way you can test everything in the same weekend. Especially here, that by the time you arrive here, that you set up everything, that you spend some time talking with the people here and so on, exchanging about life, about everything, and about the hardware as well. Well, basically, you just have 1 day and a half to do it, right? And what people are like, oh yeah, you should do that for 5 days. 5 days would not make a big difference if you don't have targets, like personal targets. So if you come here and you're already prepared, you know which board you want. So basically, you don't have to take 5 motherboards. You just take 2, and maybe you take different CPUs for the same board. So basically, that's one board and your backup. So on the same socket. So basically, what you can do is like, okay, I want to test this kind of hardware, like LGA 775 CPU or LGA 1151 CPU. Yeah, so you know that you have 2 motherboards for this, and you have like a bunch of CPUs just for that. It's actually much easier to be productive in terms of scores, in terms of tweaking, in terms of what you can produce actually during the weekend. The goal is not to make 200 score. The goal is to have fun. The goal is to push the system that you have to the maximum. Well, if you come here and you try out stuff and you spend maybe like 6 hours reinstalling Windows and 5 hours finding out why the system is not working, that was just not something that was dry enough, like, you just lose time. Basically, like, you have to make something out of this weekend as well, that you had fun and you actually delivered something for yourself. So don't forget, if you do this, it's first for the fun and then for the score. I guess Neil will not agree with me on that. You do it for the score first and then you have fun with it. And there's actually on the left side Mr. Tech QC that says, haha, I remember at the LAN ETS I heard the blue screen from the top floor. Well, actually we were yelling so hard that we had an issue with the microphone, because the microphone next to me was actually picking up the sound when I was yelling. So that was fun. That was fun. And guys, actually, if you want to see more of the competitions, early September, so basically around the first weekend of September, we will be in Southeast Asia for the last leg of the HWBot World Tour 2016. That's going to be an official live, not like this one that is just for the fun. And a test stream, that's why it's the red sticker right here. That's a test stream. And that's going to be quite fun. That's going to be Indonesia time zone, of course. So that's going to be either early morning for the guys in Europe and in the US, or late afternoon when we're going to start. I don't have the exact date yet. I just want to make sure before announcing anything. Well, quite hard. It's midnight here, just past midnight. So we still have some slight issue, like to wait for the screen from Mark. So this is what happens when you actually don't install the driver correctly. In the far, actually, so you have Mark on the right side, bottom right side. You have Joe Stepanzi on the left side, and on the far end, on the top right side, you actually have Jixman, you have Stefan and Brian. So they are actually using the system we were talking earlier on the chat, on the live. This enclosed system with like automatic valve and automatic regulation of the LN2 flow. So you basically select the temperature, just keep the temperature like this. So that's going to be, so actually Jixman is testing out for the first time the system as well. The driver are still installing for now. Don't forget, guys, we are actually have some t-shirt as well. I don't know if there's the link for the Teespring to find it back. Oh yes, this one. We have the special edition for Mark. That was like a intense private joke. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, the resolution is awful. Like, Stepan is using like a very old screen that is super weird on the resolution that is being used. Mark is actually filling up the thermal flask just to make sure that he's gonna have enough within the game. So that way you can actually refill the big one that you can see is holding now. The guys are making fun, like cracking jokes and so on. This view is definitely cool. I really love it. We are actually working on a system for, because this system can be used already, right? This system does exist, and this system is working-ish. The biggest issue is you still need some cables from now, and actually we are working on a system that is completely wireless, just not for the power, of course, but we really need to to make this more accessible and more stable, actually, because it works but it's not reliable. That's the biggest issue. There's always issue with the either the connections or where you can use the camera and how you can put it down. Of course, for you guys, you don't see it when you see just that view, but for us in the back, in the back end to organize all these kind of views and so on, it's actually a little nightmare, especially for the competitions. If you're alone at home, you can do it already, but what's important is to have this for the competitions. That would be cool. I really like it. That's something we can do now, but it's not. It's not cheap enough, or it's not reliable and cheap enough to have it like deployed for everyone. New viewer says wireless power would be amazing. Tesla would beat Pro, isn't it? Well, sure. Well, wireless power is not exactly the biggest issue. As long as you have good battery life, you don't need to have wireless power, because if you have good battery life and hot swap of the battery, it's good. You don't care. You just have to, when you have like the reminder, like one of the batteries getting empty, you just change it, but there's no cut. And all this is like a lot of engineering to make things work. This doesn't even exist for smartphone yet. So, yes. Now I can see him. So after 45 minutes of installing drivers for Mark, we finally have his screen. Finally, it's working correctly, but Joe doesn't work. Joe's setup doesn't work anymore. Oh yeah. Mark said it's part of his strategy to just wait for Joe to fail. Ragged, baby. Mr. Tech QC says the new test bench should have with this test system stability and reliability. Yeah, definitely. Indeed, as you guys can, yeah, maybe you guys can see it, but Joe is using the Open Bench Table project. This is the prototype he's using. Actually, Mr. Tech, that's exactly the same prototype you did the video on. I think like the video should be out like anytime soon. I didn't show it yet. I will just see it when it's gonna be released, but. That's exactly the prototypes. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I needed the prototype back. It's for this weekend. So yeah, we do have the screen from Mark, but you are still waiting the screen from Stepan's. Okay. Oh, guys, we're going on like Tim, if you explain the rules, can you put the headset on? Pousse le truc au fond.
Alright, let me know when you're ready to hear the rules. Another 10 minutes? By that time. He's saying that because he's sponging up all the water now. He's like, oh, another 10 minutes.
It's always like, oh yeah, please, I need 10 more minutes. Okay. This is the perfect example of someone benching. There's a shit ton of stuff on the desktop.
So are you booting or?
So today we will be using Cinebench R15, and this is how Cinebench looks like when it's being benched. This is just a test run for Mark to see if the system is still stable or... Wait for it! Wait for it! Wait! Oh! Blue screen! Oh, yes! It's not even started and we already got one. Okay guys, sorry for the ears, but that's part of the game.
Are you guys ready? Yeah. Yeah? Seriously ready? Okay. So, it's gonna be Cinebench R15. And the way we're going to do it is that we're going to give you each 3 lives. Every 5 minutes, we draw a score. And basically this is the target. If you hit the target, you earn 1 life. Your maximum is 3, so if you already have 3, you cannot go beyond. But if you don't hit the target, you do lose 1 life.
Okay, so each 5-minute round.
Yeah. If you hit the target exactly spot on, the round ends. So you win the round.
Then you win the round.
So then we go and we start again. So we make a new draw of a new target and we keep going. Alright? And we're gonna maybe give you like a minute or so in between each. Important rule is that if none of you hit the target, both of you lose a life. If both of you hit the same score identical to each other, also you do lose a life. And if none of you have a score, you also lose a life, okay?
The round, the maximum time for the round? Maximum time for a round.
Maximum time for one set, so one target, is 5 minutes. And there's a maximum of 10 sets in total. So by 10... Yeah, so by 5 minutes we look at how much lives you guys have left. The one with the most wins the match. It's already 15 minutes. I think by then you will be underwater, so It should be all right.
And-
Any questions?
Yeah, I do have one.
You have one?
So what happened
We can
if
see
none
the
of
scores. So,
So whatever comes up on the screen, I don't have a CPU.
so no, don't need to open CPUZ. Just wait that Truthman says the score. I will be here and trying
Do
to
you want
watch
me to
something.
type the score?
If you have time, but I highly doubt you will have time. The thing is, I don't see the screen, so
Yeah, me neither.
no, you have to put the screen. You. So
Oh yeah. Yes.
of course you will see the screen. That's your job.
But we need to know who is the closest from the target, huh?
Yeah, this is why you need to write the scores also.
Damn it. Okay, I would need to.
Yeah, we're only two people, so it's gonna be a little bit hardcore.
Okay, guys. I will not answer on the live chat for a while because I have to type.
I
the
will take
score.
a piece of. I'll take a piece of paper and a pen.
That's not a piece of paper. That's your passport, man.
Let's not write in the passport. Okay. Yeah, I will just write the scores. Yeah.
Okay, I am
No,
ready.
because-
But if you want to have a target, I mean, you're going to have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we draw a score in Cinebench R15 between stock on HWBot and world record on HWBot. All right, so it's either between 2,000 points or 2,908, which is one more point than the current record. All right.
So do you want the do you want the first one?
Yeah, you guys are ready? All right.
Okay, so the first draw of the score is 23-18.
23-18. Are you guys ready? Truth? Counter?
Yeah, I am.
3, 2, 1. Let's go. 5 minutes.
So here we go. They have 5 minutes to reach 23-18 exactly on the system. that's gonna be difficult for them. Oh boy. And that's gonna be difficult for me as well because I have to update the score. Okay, let's get to it. So we do have Stepans on the red side, and Mark 0053 on the blue side. Actually, Stepans is already benching. He's already going hard.
23-18.
23-18.
Yep.
I think I missed some of my control. Damn. Joe, you have to tell us the bench, huh? The bench score.
Yeah, announce the score when you get it, because I can't see it from here.
Why is it the one that's.
Yeah, even if it's not the exact target, because if you get the closest to the target, you still
Yeah.
get close to it. Yeah. So, Timothy, you have to repeat them because I can't hear.
22-87.
2287. All right. Yeah, usually we do have someone that just take care of putting on the scores.
And
Yeah,
Mark is still struggling to boot.
2291.
How much?
2291.
All right.
How much?
2291.
That's the issue with the bench that is that fast because you just have to update the score all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tricky.
I have a little bit more control. 2352.
23-52. And Mark is booting again. Woohoo! Well, in the BIOS. 2346.
Yeah, but 23,
46.
46. Just give me the one that are closer to the target.
It's not easy for me to know them. I have to look them all up every time. 2335.
Okay, so this one I don't have to write it, right? Oh no, it's actually, yeah, it actually makes sense. Oh man, actually, okay. Can you just take That's gonna be a fine. I cannot do that. I cannot do the score and everything at once.
I have no battery on my phone, so.
Wow, too
And
bad.
the app on the phone is shit anyway.
Yeah, you need
It
to update all the
scrolls
time.
down all
Yeah.
the time. 20 what?
2333.
Getting closer, of course.
Yep.
Oh yes, yes. Now we have the full screen. Yes. So we can see he's running Cinebench R15. He's at 4.3 gigahertz, and it's negative 58 CE. Oh, and there's 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
I'm still trying.
They're still trying to get into Windows.
2322.
2322.
Getting closer.
And still no score for Mark. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. So we are here on Stepan's 765.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can finish your round. Is it done?
No, almost. Oh, 2320.
All right. So the closest to the score is you. So Stepan's. You get to keep all your lives, and you are losing one, Mark. So you guys have. So you have about 1 minute, and in 1 minute we draw the next target. So during that 1 minute cooldown, the two players are actually having a bit of, well, not really that much time, just a little bit of time to readjust a few things. Maybe try to go through the BIOS and see if they can actually adjust something. As you can see, 5 minutes is really not much time, so you actually pretty much don't have any time to go tweak in the BIOS. You have to use the Windows tools, right? Otherwise, you're screwed.
And there's not much you can do because you have to unmount things like Mark is trying to do maybe the memory. 5 minutes,
Yes.
this is super fast.
There's no more memory in Mark's system at the moment.
Well, actually we can see that, like we can see exactly what you're struggling for.
Injecting WT-40, trying to patch things up as much as you can.
There's too you can see there's ice and water crawling on the slots.
So meanwhile, we can prepare the draw of the next target.
So as we said, there's a maximum of 10 rounds. We're going into the second round now.
Guys, about 20 seconds. Should we give Mark a little bit more time or what? No?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
okay.
That's the rule.
No pity. Okay, Truft, you got the next score?
Yep.
Okay.
So the judge know the next score. None of the overclockers knows yet.
Okay, I'm gonna announce the score. The next target is 2802.
And we are
And
starting now.
in 5, 3. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5 minutes. Good luck, Mark.
So as you can see, Mark is struggling to to start again his system. Joe is actually already back. He was just waiting for it. Actually, 2800. This is super. This is 100 point close from the actual top score on HW, but for this CPU. So Joe's is back in the system. It's like 36 multiplier for the core, 36 for the N core. So that's gonna bring him to 4.5 gigahertz. It's gonna make a first test, check the memory, and then adjust back around. 2.1 on VCC in, going quite all in on this Intel Core i7-6950X. This is the first time. Oh, and we have Mark actually getting into the BIOS. This is the highlight of the game so far. So on the right side, the red side is Stepan's, is actually at negative 88, while Mark is actually struggling below negative 40. So negative 90, you can see that he's actually cooling down his system. That's exactly what the two guys are doing now. So see, you can see directly like Mark is actually pouring into the system, and you can see the temperature dropping, negative 43, negative 45, and then going down and down and down. So you can see that now he's cooling down the system to go further. Actually,
So
if you look at the thermometer and at the probe at the bottom of the screen, this is actually super close, super close.
So of course, the target now is way higher than before. It's gonna be a little bit more tricky to reach it. 2802, knowing that the current record on Cinebench is 2907. 2682.
2682 for the player red, Stepan's.
Ooh, Mark is unplugging the ATX power cable. This is not going anywhere. Yeah, that's a tricky thing here. It's so humid that there's absolutely condensation everywhere. 2711.
As you can see that Stepanzi is actually benching, doing the tweak that like putting everything on the side to not have the display of the run. This gives you a little bit of a boost, even though he's actually having a nice advance for the moment. And the system shut down, crashed. So you can see like Joe was actually looking to get like a blowtorch. Was actually looking to get a blowtorch to heat up the system. So the temperature you see right now at negative 80 is not Joe's. That's the one from Mark. But Joe's temperature, you can see it right here, right now. You can see like negative 95, then going all the way quite fast, negative 90. Then you have to go all the way up to negative 80 or 75, depending on the CPU he's using. See, negative 80, about that one, like 82. By the time it's gonna be going down, you can actually start up the system again. So about negative
Mark
80.
is still struggling. The motherboard is not booting at the moment.
Here we go. So you can see the two overclockers on the left side. On the top you can see the score they have. Oh, by the way, there's 25 seconds left.
25 seconds left.
On the you can see that Mark is struggling at negative 75, and Joe is relaxing at negative 83, but he's still in the lead for now. 10 seconds. We have Joe that is back into Windows.
3, 2, 1, and the round is over. All right, so Stepons, you keep all your lives. Mark, you're losing 1 life.
Again? What's wrong?
And you guys have 1 minute of cooldown.
So here we go again. Stepons actually kept all his life by being the closest to the target. That was 2802. He did 2711 point. And we are going to be drawing the next round. The next set is actually the third one, and we'll be announcing soon what exactly is the score. The next score going to be quite interesting to see. Actually, we can tell it to you guys because they don't hear us, and Timothy can hear me. The next score to be made is 2694. I repeat, 2694. And Joe is trying to understand what I am telling now, but he cannot understand me. Ha ha ha. So Mark is struggling, is completely like... he did actually bench like to negative 100 before having the system.
Yeah, so Mark is basically saying that he insulated half the board, so the other half is having condensation pretty much everywhere. So all basically the south part of the board, we have the PCI Express lanes, and below and around the chipset, all this part is completely covered with water basically. So it's like, yeah, he's completely unmounting the system. I think he's not gonna get any score for the next round.
Well, anyway, that's his last chance, whatever happened.
20 seconds. I guess it's gonna be tough, Mark. I think what we can do after that one, we can redo another one once you're dried and back running. Alright.
So you can see the temperature below. Yeah, we can go now for the last run.
No, let's start in the last run. Target score is 2694. 2694. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So that's going to be an easy one for Joe this time, because Mark is struggling quite hard on his system. That will be interesting to see if actually Joe Stepons can actually hit the target. We're going to have the first score. You can see the last 2419. This is an quite easy score that could be done. It would just run to get closer to 2694. As you can see, there's calculations going on. There's but 5 minutes, that is super fast.
25:39.
So C is getting closer, so you're gonna increase maybe by 1 the ratio, or by 2. So this will give him a nice boost to maybe close the gap between 25:39 and blue screen. Oh, that was fast. He tried to reset before seeing it. He's actually puzzled now. It's like, what did happen? Why did this crash? And in the meantime, Mark is trying to install all his system.
Hey, he might actually make it. About 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
So you can see the motherboard is actually covered in Vaseline and some extra past. And here we go again, cooling down the system. And there's 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. And the two guys are rebooting, not having screens. We don't see the screen of Stepan's anymore.
Yep, no idea what's going on there.
Oh, oh, and it's back.
26, 37, 56.
So this is getting very close from the target of 26.94. Can he make it in the last 2 minutes? That would be actually a very nice first game for Stepan here, while Mark is actually struggling with his system. 27.716. This is a little bit too high to reach the 26.94. We'll just try to go closer to that score again. Here we go, almost the end of the benchmark, and we see the score now. Getting closer to it, getting closer to it. It's just a matter of adjusting the right settings now, because this is very close from the target score. There's basically like less than 15 points in between. Let's see what will be the score. Maybe 26.90 something. 27.02. He's decreasing the encore slowly to just actually limit a little bit the performances to reach the score that he needs. You can see there's some threads that are actually lacking a little bit behind. And the score is
27-11.
So this score is not better than the previous one. So now reducing a little bit the CPU frequency. There's 25 seconds left.
20 seconds.
So as you can see, especially running 2646. So for now his best score was 2702.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There's one last run here, and if this run is better than the 2702 that he has made, well, he's already winning, but just gonna improve his score. 26.99, not bad.
Alright, so the game is over. Mark, you lost the game, you have no more life. Congrats, Joe. Made it.
Womp 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 womp.
No, it's I had an error 76, so I even went from it was close to the minus.
That's a fair. That was the fair game. That was the.
Alright, you guys want to do one more? Or you once you dry up, of course.
Okay, let's restart again. Yeah. So both of the guys will now dry out their system, just to make sure that everything will be back on track and as expected. So we'll continue on commenting with you guys. So how did you find that out? Like, did you find did you like the way of having the target that can change from within like this range, or maybe we can try another kind of game later on today. But I think like the Cinebench one want to see if someone doesn't have issue with the system, it can still have a chance. Of course, Mark was having issue even before actually the complete game started, so it was a little bit tricky. When we can see, oh, by the way, don't forget you can keep an eye on the bottom of the screen. You have the temperature of each of the guys. So you see that Mark is actually at -18 and 18C, while step-ons are like -50 and warming up the CPU pot. So they went from like -100 to now like they're going above 0, and that's what we call drying. So they have to remove all the ice and remove everything to just make it worth it. Tim, did you shut down the extra, like the wireless headset? Did you shut it off? Okay. No, I cannot hear you like this. Can you talk now?
Check 1 2
Yes.
1 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Tim, how was it from your point of view?
From my point of view, I just wrote numbers on piece of paper only in one column of my papers. No, I think the whole thing went pretty well. I think 5 minutes didn't seem to be too short. I mean, like if you look, for example, step-ons, right? And within 5 minutes, this last round he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scores. And I think the first round, first set, he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scores too, right? So 8 scores is not bad in 5 minutes. That's quite good. Imagine if the two players were having done 8 scores as well.
There would have
Both.
been no way I could talk and make the score at the same
Yeah, there's no way
time.
for you to enter the scores in the system. That's one thing. But that's plenty of scores to have something going on all the time. So I think that's quite good. Maybe they need for sure to have more prep. Here the conditions are very difficult. We had some issues with the drivers, so we lost a good half an hour of the board of Mark getting just more and more wet every time he was trying to install the drivers. And so yeah, we'll have to just check that again. But I think besides that, it went quite well. It's not really a problem. We'll have to see if maybe we have to add a timer for the countdown so we can
For
see
the
the
cooldown,
countdown.
you mean?
Yeah, the time in between the sets. Yeah. So if you can just change the timer to add one, like instead of 5 minutes, you have a 1 minute one or something like that. So like that, I have
Yeah,
a.
I'm thinking on how I can do that. But yeah.
Maybe actually 1 minute in between is not enough. Maybe you can do 2 minutes instead of one. If you want to go into the BIOS, that's the occasion to do it, really. Um, so yeah, guess that's one thing. After maybe I don't know, maybe we could look at like we mentioned before, stepping up the targets every time. Because if you use the cooldown to go into the BIOS to do some changes because you have a bit more time. If you don't know what's the next target, you really don't know what you're going to adjust in the BIOS. But if you know that the next target is necessarily going to be slightly higher than the previous one, you know that what you're more or less going for if you're very far off. So I'm thinking, like I said, for example, here for Cinebench, we have targets between 2,000 points and 2,900. If we divide that, for example, in 10 possible sets, we have 2,000. 90, 2180, something like that, etc., etc. So we could always draw a first target between 2000 and 2080. The second target will be between 2080 and 2180, something like that. So they know that the next target will be in that within that range. They just don't know which one it will be. But at least if they go to the BIOS, if they know they are like 200 points behind and they know what they're going to go tweak or something, that kind of gives them some kind of aim. And also it also stays more into the overclocking thing where you're actually going for the highest score. Because here you might actually end up with a last set where everyone is going for the lowest score possible or something, you know. So it might not be that fun. But then again, the goal is to actually hit the target to keep your lives or get more lives. So that's really the goal of the game.
Well, that game was quite spectacular in a way that Joe completely smashed it. But well, Mike completely smashed his own setup, so.
Yeah, so well, we have to wait for it. But yeah, I guess the game I found it interesting. After we'll do one more once they've dried up with the exact same kind of thing, and then we can see for maybe doing one more with the steppings. So we'll just not change anything to the rules, just see how it goes with two guys that can actually compete. Because here Mark didn't do any scores, so it's not really like we can
draw any conclusions out of that. And then we'll do the stepping, so we'll do the division. And then from then on, we'll see after that. That will be probably already 2 a.m. here, because it's already midnight 47. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that game actually lasts for a good. It did last for a good 25 minutes.
So it's almost a regular match for the World Tour, for example. So
But 5 minutes, that like the time flies so high. Like every time I was looking at the time, I was like, oh, like 20 seconds left.
yeah, it goes very fast. You know, you don't have the time to think about anything. It's really, you have to know where you're going. You do a first run, you see your score, and then you just adjust. If you're 200 points off, you hit the multiplier. If you're like 50 points off, you have to look for maybe something else. Maybe a little bit of base clock, maybe a little bit of, it really depends. And here we're doing Cinebench, right? So it's a very
Right, you need to have a
CPU and-
fast benchmark for this kind of. That's something as well. We need to think about that. You need to have a fast benchmark to do this. Otherwise, you can't run 3D Mark Firestrike for it. You're gonna do like 2 runs.
Oh yeah, for sure. You cannot do like a full 3D benchmark. It will have to be only a subtest or something like that. And even that, I'm thinking, for example, if you do Vantage CPU, I mean, like the whole run is a good 20 seconds or so, like
Ah.
30 seconds. Like if you count even the load up of the benchmark itself, Future Mark Vantage, like 3D Mark Vantage takes like a good 10-15 seconds to load up. And the time you go in the menu, select the subtest and start the benchmark, and it loads up, and then it starts the benchmark. By the time
He
you
already
do the
like half the run is gone.
yeah, by the time you do the whole run, yeah, you have a big piece of your time that is gone. So it might actually be be considered that the time of the set is based on a
Dependent on the type of benchmark.
yeah. So for example, if the benchmark, for example, here runs for 20 seconds, the set is like, I don't know, 20 or 30 times that time or something like that.
So,
So,
like
like that
right
is
now,
a-
what the ratio we have now is about so 5 times 60 seconds, 300 divided by how long was the a run for Sunny
I think it's about 20 seconds. Like
I think
15,
it's less than
15.
that.
15
Let's say
seconds.
15 seconds. That's
It's
about
20 runs.
20. So it's 20 fold. So let's say you want to do Super Pi. That's gonna be 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Well, see, it's not always worth maybe to do it this way. But for the longer benchmark, for sure, we will need to increase the time, I suppose. Especially if the guys want to do 3D. Like
Yeah,
if-
so let's say like for example 3 minutes. So like that's about like 180 times 20. That's 20. That's
yeah.
360. Oh, that's almost 1 hour.
After, like Red Max is saying on the chat, it could be if you run longer benchmark, the overclocker is more committed to it, like you say. So this means that, well, once you start the run, you're not gonna abort. You finish your run because you're already losing so much time deciding to run the benchmark. So you're not gonna like waste half of the benchmark to do it, and really you have to see how much time you have left. Because if you start running the benchmark and you have you're gonna have 10 seconds wasted at the end of it because you don't have the time to retweak and relaunch, well, you might just take those 10 seconds now and then start the benchmark.
Yeah, but it's more like always like a all or nothing.
Yep. It's all nothing. W prime is okay as well. Pi fast, super fast as well. I mean, like Pi fast is a few seconds, barely even a few seconds. So yeah, it's
Of course, that kind of like super fast and high pace kind of games are not fit for longer benchmark, definitely. But the longer benchmark are actually still fun to do.
yep. So we will see.
It's like let's do a racing track that is just 500 meters and we just turn all in the same turn. Like you need to do a lot of turns to have it worse, right? You need to make it like it's not like we can be the fastest at the first turn. Like the race will last like 20 seconds. Like, okay, thank you guys, that was fun. Bye.
Or yeah, good suggestion from Red Max. Like you could give enough time to make 3 runs, and I'm even thinking you could give enough time to do 3 runs plus 2 minutes of tweaking or something like that. So it's kind of like it's maybe a bit better than saying we give 20 times possible runs.
Mhm.
I don't know after if that applies well or not. It's like it's really really up to discussion and up to
But then
trial.
after that, it's like trying a little bit one of the other kind of game we did discuss, that we can give a limited amount of benchmark run as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can say, hey, you can only do 3 runs at maximum.
You
And
can
you
only do
have
3 runs. You have 20 minutes
5 minutes. Or 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
or 10 minutes. 10 minutes is actually a little
We have
bit
to think
more.
that those are sets, so you have several
Mhm.
chances, right? So we don't have to make it too long, otherwise it becomes more than a set. It becomes a whole game, and then it will become like more like tennis or other sports where you can have matches.
Oh,
that
you mean
last
like
for
the
2 hours.
Indian cricket version that lasts 6 days?
Yeah. I mean, like we could end up with something like that, of course.
But the whole point of about like trying out new things is actually not having it to last 6 days or even 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's really up to us to decide. I mean, like there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, like no one has done overclocking marathon so far. I mean, like where you have to just do like a 24 hours of the mall, and basically the system has to just run the whole time non-stop for 24 hours. And I mean, like when I see that system there that can be connected to a LN2 tank for like a day without having condensation issues, you could just have something where it's over 24 hours. How many total minutes of SuperPi can you accumulate, or something like that? And whoever has the shortest times after, or the longest time, or the whatever you decide to be after 24 hours wins the competition. It's also possible. It's probably a bit more boring to watch because there's not much happening. There's actually no pouring, no nothing. So, but yeah,
That's
one
just
thing to-
wiping off the case.
Yeah.
There was a comment from John D1. Once they start, give them 5 minutes time out of the benchmark runs. So basically, once they start the benchmark, just post the time and restart if they quit or if it is not stable.
So it means we have two counter in that case. We have a time for one player and a time for the other player. Right? Because right now
Or
the
no, or both player actually accumulate. So if one is actually always benching, the other guys have to bench as well.
yeah,
So you cannot just that could be one thing. Like it's like a benchmark time credit.
yeah. It's
Well, that's super difficult to do actually today, in the way the benchmark works. So
Well-
for now, it's actually super difficult to implement, but that could be interesting in the next few years.
well, I see. Yeah, how he says like you can have your 5 minute. Basically, you have your 5 minutes. Actually, the best way to represent it would not be 5 minutes, but two kind of like timer bars on the side of the screens. One is one player, one is the other one, kind of like a sand thing going down. And the game starts, the sand stuff down. Every time you start a benchmark, it just poses on your line. It keeps going for the other one if you're still tweaking, and it pose, and that's it. Something like that. I guess that's something doable as well. I mean, like it's doable. It's just we need to find a way to do it for the streaming. But why not? Why not really? Hey, ATV riders, we're doing very great, and you? Thanks for joining.
And Johnny one says, "Oh, you can take 2 smartphones with timers, so you can track each person." Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but-
the quick and dirty way of doing it, but you need at least 2 person to do it.
Well, not just that. Is that people on the stream needs to see
And
the
yeah,
timer.
no one else will be able to see it. That's gonna be tricky to find. So the goal here is not to try like anything, like everything we can. The thing is to try everything that can make sense for the live. So we had a lot of ideas, and this is one that came on. Can you explain to the guys what was the other one you wanted to try as well? The earlier one, the first one.
The other one is the the death race or something like that. Basically, it's more. People might call that more like overclocking because you're actually going for the highest score. It's also very similar to the target in some way. It's kind of like inspired. So basically, you need 3 wins to beat your opponent. AC is very cold here. So you need 3 wins to beat your opponent in the game, and basically we were planning also to do like some kind of 5-minute sets as well. And basically what we do is that we just start as a base score, and every set we basically increase that score. So The goal is to go above, above every time, above every time. Every time you're above, you're pretty much set, safe for the set, and you can do something else. And as soon as both guys are beyond that kind of that limit, um, we just raise the limit again to the next one, and it starts again. So it keeps going up this way. It keeps going up, keeps going up. Um, it's kind of similar as well. It's just you don't lose lives or anything like that. It's really just about who gets the highest every time. And but every time we need to redraw a benchmark, of course. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So it's a little bit maybe more complicated to put in place. The target seems a little bit easier to also to kind of understand or something. But yeah, various options, I suppose. Maybe for that idea of the smartphones on both sides, that would maybe work if you have the timers smartphone app that is linked to the streaming thing. It takes two people more to be there to do it.
Well, the
It's not
easiest way is always to just have the benchmark linked to it, and that's it, right?
it's not impossible. It's just it would be better if the benchmark does that because if the benchmark sends the command for the timer, at least the command is precise. Otherwise, the guy that is behind, if he clicks 1 second too late or 2 seconds too late, maybe it doesn't seem much, but in a competition level, 2 seconds is, or even 1 second between the guy press start the benchmark and the guy press, it's 1 second is not really that great. But I mean, like we were not that precise here either, so it's all okay as well.
But for here, there's nothing at stakes, right? There's no cash, there's
No,
no
there's no
prizes,
stakes,
there's
it's
nothing.
just
This is
for
just for
testing.
fun now.
Yeah. Question: what chipset is this overclock? So they were using X99 chipsets with 5960X CPUs.
No,
So
6950X.
59, 60. No, 50.
69.
It was 6950.
Yeah. 59 was the previous one.
Yeah, but they are not benching broadwell-e here.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. I didn't pay attention actually.
No, that's 6950X, no?
Oh, maybe I
Mark.
did.
6950, right? 6950 ou 5950? Yeah, broadwell-e.
All right, great, awesome. I didn't even pay attention to it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it doesn't hurt anyone to use the WD-40 actually on motherboards. No problem at all. It's actually very good. Just spray it on top, just heat it up, it all goes away, and there you go. Keep going.
Well, you have to heat it up. That's the key.
Yeah, it is WD-40. Yeah, you have to heat it up so all the kind of the
I would grab a can.
all the alcohol and things evaporate. Do you know the story truth about WD-40? You know why it's WD-40?
No.
Because they failed 39 times before at getting the right product. No, seriously, that's the exact thing. They did 39 version of that thing. So
But WD-40 is actually a brand, huh? You guys know. So there's actually the oil and there's the brand. So this is actually a electrical contact cleaner spray. So that's what they spray on.
yeah, a lot of people use that for some other stuff.
Well, that's thing actually. Say what? A lot of people use that for other stuff?
Yeah.
I don't
It's
want to
used-
know. I really don't want to know for that.
No, like I mean on grips and things like that. It's good. Yeah. So I think.
And this is the downtime of the stream.
Well, it's kind of down. If you look at the camera there, you can see that Joe put his PC in a drying box. So it's basically you put it's the best way really to dry your components in a timely fashion as good as possible. So what you do, you put a carton box on top of your rig, or you put your rig inside a carton box with papers, and you close the box upside down, whichever way you can do it. Put your heat gun in there, blowing aside just to warm up the air, and that's it. It just dries the thing. It's
It
perfect.
goes, it goes easily up to like 50 C. So 50
Oh yeah,
degrees,
or more than
easily,
that.
easily.
Yeah.
Like
So
like
everything
even like
evaporates, and that's it.
that's a good way of drying. And here it's quite humid, so That's
Yeah.
actually the reason why they crank up the AC as at the maximum. So it's actually quite cold inside the room, not because of the LN2, just because of the AC, because it's too. The AC is actually drying up the air as well.
Yeah. So yeah, Mark is going through his stuff. There's not even a motherboard left on the table. Oh, he has it in the carton box also next to him at his feet. Same thing, dry.
In the drying system.
So the risk, of course, would be to not take the time to dry properly, especially here it's so humid. We really cannot, tell them, don't worry, just keep going. There's no way you can keep going. This will be the best way to kill anything. And of course, so like we said, they're using the latest CPUs, and those are like a $1,700 CPUs. So you're not
Please don't break them.
you're not playing with humidity. As soon as you have a bit of water, if you can really sponge it up and you see it keeps coming back. Just stop and dry everything, and you want to make sure there's no more water between the memory slots, no more water around the chipset or in the socket, for example, or anything like that. So gotta make sure it's nicely dried up.
Nice and dry.
Yeah, exactly. Door hinges, all that kind of stuff. WD-40 is kind of like the miracle product for
I
everything.
use that for the rollerblades,
Yeah, yeah.
but I use the like the oil part, not the electrical cleaner.
Yeah, the only one it's good for, yeah, for all the mechanics and things.
That's basically oil, huh? Oil in a spray.
Don't use it for cooking.
Fast food my way with Jacques Pepin. Can you add the WD-40 on top of butter and oil?
I'm sure you can.
Hey boys. Hey guys, if you like what you just saw, let us know. Give it a follow us here and subscribe, become a fan and all that. Because this is just a fun, though that's just a basic fun that we are having now. Nothing. No, it's not. It's not an official one. It's not an official stream. But that's good to do. Always fun.
So what else of you guys would have any ideas of how we could make this a little bit more fun? I had an idea. We could
Oh, a new one that we did not discuss during the 9 hours of driving back down here.
no target scores, target temperatures.
Oh, so you have to stay within a certain range.
Yeah, you cannot go. For example, what you do is that if you're anything that is above like 20 degrees, or I don't know, minus 20. So if it's above minus 20, you start losing points.
So once again, you have like a credit of points.
Yeah, something like that. But you make them somehow, like you have to figure a way to get them to. They will have to heat up at some point. Somehow. Or you do the opposite. They cannot go cooler than something. I don't know if that will work.
So let's say that you have a certain amount of point, and the speed at which the point decrease is related to the temperature you have.
Yeah. Yeah. Or there was the other thing we were thinking at the start: have a scale, and you only give them 5.
Yeah, this one I still want to do it. It's a little bit complex to put in place, but you have so the point was, well, you can influence in a lot of way during the competition. You can influence on the rules, on the benchmark, on the time. So usually most of the time is like time you have to run the benchmark, like 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then the second like impact or actually a variable you have on the score and the outcome of the actually of the face-off is the score. So either best score, lowest score, target score. That's basically what we just did. And there's an extra way of doing it is everything else. So like the temperature like we did, and the amount of LN2 you can use, and maybe like so that's how the scale came into the discussions. So you have a scale where you have all your LN2 flask / pod / whatever. So at the beginning, you're allowed to have like 20 kg, for example. So it's like about 15 liters pretty much. So these 15 liters are everything you need to have for your special, maximum time. So you have to bench,
Well, we
and you have
can
to set the
monitor
best
the
score.
scale too, so we can, we can display it, so we know how much is left or something like that. And you just pick a benchmark that just uses a lot of LN2, you know.
Let's
So,
bench 4-way,
maybe not
and it's
4-way,
going in
but
30 seconds.
any kind of 3D would work. Yeah, something like that. Good night, ATV riders. See you next time. Yeah, you could do something like that. That would be quite fun. It would be even more fun if it's a team or something like that.
So you have like one tank per team.
Yeah, one time per team, and you give them different benchmarks. Some guys.
So you
going
have to do like
2D,
three
some
like
guys are
3D
gonna
Mark,
do
Fire
2D.
Strike, Extreme, or Time Spy. So like super crazy 4-way system, and you have to do the crappy set run on the side.
Yeah, and then depending how much you give value to each, like the team will have to prioritize where they want to put their head into.
I can foresee drama in fighting.
You know, it's the same with Formula One, right? When they can only fill the tank a certain time per races, right? Pit stops are limited,
Yeah.
so it's basically the same thing. Yeah, you can refill your LN2, just a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but even
Yeah.
in Formula One, that's what they did. Like the first guy is actually cutting the wind for the second one. So actually, the second one is not using not using the same amount of gas as well. That you can save for after. And I can't remember. I think that was like 8 or 9 years ago, or yeah, about a decade ago. And there was like two guys like going in front and then like this, and they were actually going faster than anyone else because they were actually like gaining time doing like this, like for a while. And that's actually how they won the race, I guess.
Yeah, that's the technique. Yeah, those are actually massive LN2 tanks behind. I think those
These are
ones-
the high pressure one.
those are like 250 liters maybe or something.
240. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have like a bunch up there. Like so, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and the rest is behind it. So there's almost, I think, 2,000 liters in total, 1,000 something.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the
No,
guys will use that
we'll
much.
never
no.
use it for all for sure. No way. So right now, we are in Harrisburg,
so
Pennsylvania.
the question from Gubben Tech Sweden. Oh, Tech Sweden. Hey. Oh, and the camera is completely crap. Location, town. It's morning here. Well, we are in.
We are in Harrisburg in Pennsylvania, USA, and it's currently 1:10 a.m. And no one is tired. It's not just like we had no sleep last night. Thanks
Or
to
9
Mark
hours.
snoring.
Okay, guys. He's not listening right now, but Mark is snoring like hell. Like honestly. Last night he came back into the room, and well, that's when we actually woke up. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was alright. Like good wake up in the middle of the night. Always appreciate it. We both woke up and we went to get our earplugs.
So it's like you woke up at first like, oh damn it, that's gonna last maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then that's gonna be fine. But like 30 minutes after, it's like, fuck it, just get your earplugs. No way. I will plug the camera back on Mark so we can see how he's actually building up again. Maybe you're
yeah,
gonna have
sure.
more chance at the insulation this time.
Well, you know, a lot of it with overclocking is about to actually get good at unmounting and remounting and unmounting and remounting. You gotta have to do that fast, do that properly, do that efficiently. Be good at it, so you make sure every time you build up the same way, you apply the same pressures, you put your thermal paste the right way every time, so it spreads properly. You make sure that on the first boot straight, you go to the BIOS straight, you can load your profile straight, you know, all that kind of stuff. As soon as you start having issues, you know you're in trouble, especially when it's a timely based competition. There's no chance for error. And if some of you guys have watched, for example, the World Tour games where you have 30 minutes matches and you have a bit of preparation before, But as more as you reach towards the finals, you do have less preparation, and depending where you qualify, if it's in Europe, if it's in Taiwan, if it's in South Africa, and depending the season, well, you better get ready, and it's kind of tricky like that. So gotta be good at it, and those events are perfect for that. It's very good practice, especially for Mark. He's gonna be at a World Championship at the end of the year, and he's going to be benching on the Asus board, so it's good practice for him to be on Asus, on X99, on broadwell-e, practicing already his preparation skills for that. It's very good, very good.
He looked confused. Like, okay, what can I do now?
He's just very tired, I think.
Well, he slept 1 hour last night or so. I don't think that was like long enough.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, so Red Max, you're saying you worked on that kind of competition formats a couple of years ago. Oh yeah,
I
those
remember that was after the MWA 2009, the one that was actually a guest with us, a co-host.
yeah, that was the first one where we had some proper screen capture. That was already a while ago, but things haven't really changed so much. Like a little bit, like in a way that we don't have those big competitions anymore. It's more like more compact ones. But yeah, those are for sure inspirations. I think what started really the one versus one was what the Jagat OC guys did in Indonesia, and after there's been some few tries before, like 2009 already in Sweden, they were doing like one versus one swap matches with LN2. So like the extreme overclock is swapping LN2 systems and stuff like that. That was already pretty advanced for back in the days, like. But since then, after that, it kind of died off. So hopefully it's gonna come back. Maybe live events are gonna be able to bring that back. Currently, it's also very hard to do that kind of things online because there's no benchmark that is capable of doing like a game server basically, where you would be matched against someone else and you would be having like automatically drawn targets and scores and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't find your article, Redmax. I think that was on the previous site name before you changed to Ottawa Asylum.
If you think about it, that's a big mass of liquid.
So if you have the link, just post it in the live chat. That was a good article at the time. You know? It was a good reflection to have as well.
Well, it's nice to see it's gonna come into implementation.
Yep.
What's gonna be cool also is hopefully we have time to do that next year. Will be to do one versus one stuff like that live but online. So, but we just need more people to be geared up with streaming equipment. So that's a bit.
Yeah,
more,
that's the thing. Like having the hardware for overclocking is one thing, but the hardware for streaming is something else. This is actually quite quite tricky, especially that for now at this very moment it's not quite cheap to get rigged completely for doing good stream for extreme overclocking, but it's getting better and better, and we're actually working quite hard on it as well.
Well, that plus it takes a lot of time and effort, and even if you look, for example, at PC gaming, right? There's so many people playing on computer. Even the amount of people that actually stream on Twitch is very small. If you do the ratio, it's not that many people that have the internet connection sufficiently high to be able to stream out. Second, the amount of people that have the equipment or the money to buy the equipment to be able to stream properly. Even gamers now buy external capture cards and don't stream for their own PC, for the same reason that overclockers would not do it.
And that's how we can actually see Windows 10 doing updates when the people do streams.
Well, yeah, and so you have that, and then after, of course, you have it takes time to set up and learn how to do it, and I think not everyone has the time. So you rule out quickly a lot of people. And there's some guys right now in the community that are doing streams. So Dr. Wiz is doing streams. Steponzi before that did some streams. Dino did some streams as well.
Newell is doing some in France.
Newell is doing some in France as
Orion
well.
is trying to do some as well.
Yeah, Orion, for example, is the perfect example. He has the motivation, he has the gear. So his biggest problem is the internet connection, right? So you have to have all those ingredients all together, united, and you have to be able to kind of start a stream like that. Because for gaming, you have game servers with spectator mode, so it's really easy to do some kind of live entertainment for live matches. But for everything overclocking, it would mean that you kind of have to send your screen to someone, and then we can mix it both back together and things like that. That's what we do already in Taipei, but it's arranging a championship like that online is like it's ridiculous.
That's always the thing. There's a thing between this is technically possible and this is reliable for a competition that can be more than just one or two shots. So there's actually a huge difference in between. It's like doing something that works and doing something that works for a commercial professional product. There's a huge there's a huge gap in between.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested into streaming or are doing OC streams, you just send us a message. We're building a Twitch team dedicated to overclocking streams. So it's basically just a twitch.tv/team/overclocking. So basically we can have a channel with all the guys that do overclocking on a regular basis. So we don't want guys that come and do overclocking once to be in the team and then they don't do anything or they just do something else forever, So the idea is-
That's a cooking show.
Well, the
I'm
idea is-
overcooking. I thought that
idea-
was overcooking.
That is to have a place where people can go and they know they're gonna find overclocking streams there. So I think you should be part of it. Already Dr. Weeze is in there. If we can add, for example, Orion in there, maybe Stepanzi after this event will go back to some streaming. He had some struggles again with the capture cards too. So it's yeah. Yep. Well, he can send us a message if he's interested. Just tell him.
Oh, this is overcooking. I overcook every day. Every day I forget my casserole on the stove and I overcook. Because I put too much butter with my oil, so my pasta looks very good. And this is the flétan, the flétan. This is
The
the fish.
flétan? Which is the flétan.
So as Red
Yeah,
Max said,
yeah,
you
Red Max-
almost need a second machine to do
It's
OC
not
streaming.
almost. It's
No, you need
totally
one. You don't have the choice. You need
have
a
the
second
choice.
machine. You don't have the choice.
Actually, you can go. You don't need a powerful one. I think you can go away with a 4770K and integrated graphics. Actually, it might get a little bit tricky when you do like 3D because well, it has to basically render what 3D Mark is rendering, especially if you capture 1080p. But we did it with 4770K, just that. You can go away also with a cheap USB capture card. When I say cheap, it's already costing maybe almost like 70 to 100 euros, but that's among the cheap ones, like not like the ones we use here for the stream, which are above 1,000 euros. And then if you want to have the webcams, I would recommend only one or maybe two webcams max. And if you can get one of those temperature capturing devices, that's the best. And yeah. But yeah, the motherboard with good many USB controllers
Actually,
or many
many USB is not the key. The
So
key
you
is not
need many
many
buses.
USB. It's many different buses. That depends on how they actually build the motherboard. So there's motherboard that have a ton of USB and they don't work well for it.
Yeah, and then usually you just need a shitload of time
Yeah.
to get it to work properly as well. Yeah, so you can get a PCI Express capture card. Those are the best. Definitely the best. Slightly more expensive, but the best. If you can have a capture card that has multiple inputs, that's even better. So you can drop your webcams and use proper cameras. And yeah. For the splitting, external splitters are recommended unless you have a good PCI Express card that has an integrated splitter that splits the signal properly. And if you can get a capture card that can upscale, downscale, that's best. So when you go in the BIOS, when you have a weird resolution, you can actually have as many of them supported. So you don't have to struggle with that.
Well, just saying, if you guys are actually looking for good capture card, like good ones, not as cheap as one you can get for $100, but the one that Timothy just said before. Get in touch with us because we actually have some special one that we can sell seeds. Type in the word you want for that because yeah. But it's been a lot of research for having the right kind of capture card because when you do gaming, it's super easy. You only have one resolution, you only have one setup. Usually, you don't even have to hook to the gaming PC. You just hook to the spectator mode. So
Many of
much
those
easier.
capture devices, what they do is when the resolution changes, they interrupt the signal. And so sometimes you have to reconnect in the software to get back the capture card back to detect and things like that. So it's sort of tricky. So it's mostly a question of having proper driver. But I understand yours turned you crazy. Ours used to turn us crazy as well until we just bought the really expensive stuff. And yeah, it took us actually even testing the expensive one to find a good one. There's actually
yeah, actually, even in the expensive one, it's not all of them that are good.
yeah, but it's if you plan to do serious streaming all the time, it's definitely worth the investment. Just like you would invest in I don't know a proper monitor or a proper motherboard. It's just worth getting it and not just wasting time with the consumer stuff. Because like all those brands that do like gaming capture cards, just forget it. They will not cut it.
I have to
Yep.
uncheck and
Yep.
check the card. Yeah, that's
Oh, so you're using Media? I see. I think.
yeah. He's using the Gamer HD, like the PCI version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And you know, actually, they could fix it.
They
You
can
know
fix
what?
it.
You know the worst is the worst thing
We've
is
been
okay.
several times to
so,
the HQ, but they don't care.
So, Neil, for the record, the live gamer HD, we had two of them. We had three LGP, two LGP lights, a few of the other professional one they had, and yes, for the LGP and the gamer HD, LGP light, LGP regular one, and gamer HD, you have to check and uncheck the card when some of the resolutions actually change. Yes,
Yes.
and they can fix it. They won't fix it anytime soon.
They will
I
not.
don't think so. Probably not.
They will not because the live gamer HD is end of life,
Yeah.
so it's not gonna happen.
And they won't open the driver either. So. And on the other side, the Elgato, that is actually one of the competitor products. It's pretty much the same.
It's the same thing, and the problem is
It
that
has less
also
resolution as well.
yeah, and also Media you can only have one card in your system. You cannot even have one PCI Express card and one of their USB card because their drivers are not working together. So you have to you can only have one. So so for us, for sure, for competition streaming, it was just not working. But like even so, yeah,
Well, even with 4 input, we don't have enough.
yeah. Well, we actually tested with 8 and it works quite alright. It's all about having a huge graphics card after that. But thanks to Titan X or 1080.
The Titan XP.
Yeah.
That
XP.
would be yeah.
That's not good marketing to call your card.
No,
XP.
it's not. It's not called Titan XP. It's
No,
Titan
that's why
X.
they-
But
maybe
it's the
that's why they
second
didn't.
Titan. It's like Titan X, the new one. It's like, eh, what? Well, it's kind
Yeah.
of like Battlefield. Like we had Battlefield 2, and then now it's Battlefield 1. Eh? What? Oh, and then we had just Battlefield.
Yeah, but there's no difference with the new iPhone or the new MacBook. Or...
Of course, there's iPhone 6, iPhone 6 SE, iPhone
Okay,
6
for
Plus,
iPhones
iPhone 6.
maybe. MacBook Pro. There's always
The
the same
year,
thing. No
2015,
one cares
2016.
about. Yeah, but no one cares about that. Only if you look at the specs.
You don't care? So I can sell you. So if you want to buy a new MacBook, you're just not gonna care.
I'm just gonna ask what's the CPU in there. If it's not something not released yet, I'm not interested.
It's not something that finished by Lake. You don't take it.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're just gonna have to wait for the next one then.
Yeah. I'm waiting already since 3 years for the next one. So.
Yeah, I don't think they will release. They won't release anyone with Skylake for sure. It's already too late. Like the next revision is like for in the next few months. For well, there's no official date yet, but no, that's not gonna be that far in the future.
Yep. So I'm
Let's
gonna go check if the
yeah.
guys are ready. Maybe we can do another one in maybe 15 minutes or so. It seems the mark system hasn't made much progress yet. It's still drying in the box. So I'm gonna take a small break and see you guys later.
Yep.
dangerous yourself. It's extremely dangerous.
Hello guys, I'm back. It's Truthman talking now. So right now you can see Mark is actually setting up his system, and in front of him the big guy with the S t-shirt is Stepan's. So yeah, actually we find a solution for wireless camera because we had the wireless transmitter but we didn't add the power plug for it. So now we found a power plug, we just need to wait for actually charging a little bit more, and then we will be able to move around. Though we'll be streaming tomorrow morning as well. Mark and I are going back to Canada. We have about 9 hours drive back home, so we are planning to take off before 1 p.m. And Timothy is actually staying a little bit longer here, but won't have all the system for the streaming. So yeah, tomorrow morning, local time, a little bit more live, and maybe 1 or 2 more games. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So tonight is the night. Well, tomorrow morning, that's 2 days morning, because it's already like 2 a.m. But that's gonna be in the evening for you, Neil. So let's do the commentary. Wiping the CPU, making it clean and shiny like a rock star, shining like a diamond. Very important to always have a garbage close to you to throw all your stuff that is not working anymore or that altered. Applying the thermal paste. 1 dot in the middle. There's a lot of way of doing it. Let's see that Mark is doing it this way. Neil, what time for you? I don't know. I don't think we'll be awake before 10. I think we do from 10 to 12 max. Not even sure we're gonna have time. Depend if actually we still stream for like 2 hours tonight. We won't do any stream tomorrow morning. I would rather go sleep and go to the swimming pool.
Which side do I? No, I mean, which side do I start on? Yeah. I'm gonna try one stick at a time. Turn to your left. Versus.
And we're back. Alright. All night long. This is the late night show with your host Roofman and his guest Xiela. Well, I think it's getting too late, huh?
Yes, it is. It's 2 a.m.
Oh, he's putting the fan on. Oh yeah, the fan is on. Oh, the second fan. He's going for the double fan space.
Huh? Or did he do what?
Because it's not supposed to still be live.
Of course.
So it did not cut after 1 hour. I told you, once you don't cut the stream, there's no issue.
Well, we still don't know what track it was.
Well, it's exactly the same playlist.
It doesn't make any sense. Sure they get the probes back.
Oh yeah. Joe, you put the probe back? The probes. Is it back in the CPU pot? Alright, so we're gonna have good and better temperature for Joe's as well. So you will be able to see, like at the bottom of the screen, we have the temperature for each of the guy from this special new system that we are developing. See, boom, 28 degrees. Boom, 39. Je pense que tu t'es trompé de côté. Yep, that's better like this, indeed. Yep.
Oh, good.
Not bad like this, huh?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, the quality on Facebook is terrible.
Well, actually, you're not supposed to stream higher than 720 p.m.
Yeah, just do a screenshot when you redo it again.
Like this?
Yeah.
So for the next games, are we keeping the 5 minutes?
Yeah, we do it exactly the same.
So 5 minutes, 3 lives per person. The closest to the, so actually the one that is not as close as the other one from the target lose a life.
Yeah.
And if you hit the target, you gain a life. If you're below 3, or you just keep the 3 lives you have, and the other one lose a life.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
if none have a score, both lose a life. And if both hit the same score, they both lose a life too.
That's a good one, actually.
Oh, and can you make a new recording for that one when the match starts? So
Oh,
we have
yeah.
a recorded piece.